and welcome to New Game Plus. I'm Tim, I'm joined by Donald. How are you?
I think it's time for a new generation.
Almost
Although not really. Considering we've heard news long ago of the Xbox Project Scorpio, we know of the PlayStation Neo, but this past week, we've just learned about the PS4 Slim.
Yes, rumours are flying around about a cut-down console, and it looks a lot smaller than the current PS4.
It doesn't look as rhombusy as the original PlayStation 1, and I liked that rhombus nature of it. Certainly makes it look better than the VCR that was the Xbox One.
Yes, that is true, but that's not the only thing that's been released recently. An official release of PlayStation Now. They're starting to release a glorified Bluetooth dongle so you can connect your DualShock.
I was wondering that actually. So it does it only just receives the Bluetooth signal from the PS4 controller.
Pretty much.
Huh.
But the PlayStation Now does seem pretty cool for everyone not in Australia.
Yeah.
Because we don't have servers for it. But for the service which is launching in Great Britain and a few other countries, it seems like a really good way for people to get to play those PS3 games that were fantastic that they mightn't have got to play, like all the Naughty Dog games, Ratchet and Clank games.
Mm-hmm. As in, like The Last of Us is definitely worth playing for a third or fourth time.
Yeah, or even just buying a PS3 for.
Or that.
Yes. This week we do take a look at Mankind Divided, Deus Ex.
Yes, we also get Shane really, really angry about something.
Yes, and we check out some movies.
But first, on to Attack on Titan.
So we've had the previews of Attack on Titan. We've been able to play it, show off some of the game, and I guess now we can actually review it. Now we can actually say whether it's worth, your time, your energy, your money, that kind of stuff. Shane, is it?
Coming into this game, if you haven't watched any of the series or read, because manga, whatever, you're probably coming into this thinking it's going to be like a Dynasty Warriors game. It's going to be like,
Its pedigree is Koei Tecmo and Omega Force. So Dynasty Warriors, Hyrule Warriors, Samurai Warriors,
so on and so forth.
Arslan, stuff like that,
Gundam,
right?
we could just keep going.
So basically, that's their style. One person versus the world, thousands of enemies, kill them. This is a complete flip on that formula because you have lots of people attacking one giant enemy.
Yeah.
And so it has the potential to be more, tedious, I guess.
In a sense, yes, in the way that, because it's very much, all the enemies are similar in style, it can become a little bit tedious, but I think the gameplay is done very well. The mechanics themselves are done well enough to actually have fun with this game, and it's very well done in the immersion style of, Attack on Titan.
You feel like you're doing it. So obviously you have the hip rocket rope things, the shootout, and so it's like Spider-Man and Just Cause mixed with a bit of it's hard to describe, but basically
there's nothing that really comes to it. Almost, I guess, Assassin's Creed in style. Because,
sometimes,
you're going in for that one attack. That's all you want to do.
That's basically all you want to do. And so there are some RPG elements which are a little bit undercooked.
I think that's one of the things that take away a little bit of the gameplay because you just want to go in there and kind of just attack, whereas sometimes, you're not actually dealing enough damage, and
it encourages you to grind, and that's what they wanted.
They wanted you to have enough time in this game, as well as the actual strategies of supplies and stuff.
Yeah.
Which does actually slow down the game a fair bit. But
it makes sense. It makes
sense and stuff. But you're moving around you cross the map in 5 seconds, and then you stand still for 15.
And then salute.
I'm getting out shit. I'm putting back in shit. That takes 15 seconds, or not 15 seconds. I'm over exaggerating.
No, but it's fine. But it fits the thing. And I think that's the one thing it does. If you are a fan, it fits the game. It fits the story. If you're not a fan, it's something new and something interesting. It's a good way to break into the series, and it does continue on past the anime as well.
It does. Yeah, it does go past that. If you're kind of going into it trying to, I guess, avoid that because you're, season 2 fanboy or something.
Yeah. Whatever.
It's probably not exactly what you want because it's
spoiled
told well.
Yeah.
But it's not like Naruto told well.
But at the same time, it is. I still think it's worthwhile. I think it's a great addition to anime games.
Yeah.
And realistically, I'm glad that they went this way with it after the terrible 3DS game.
I'm glad that they are trying things new, and you know what? I'm going to be excited to see what comes for next from them.
Brrr, it is absolutely freezing tonight, isn't it, Shane? It reminds me a lot of the wintry wonderland of the environments in I Am Setsuna, Tokyo RPG Factory's latest title for the PS4 and PC.
Nice, I guess, cross-reference there. But yeah, basically, Tokyo RPG, what do? It's an RPG. So you basically, as a character into this world where everything's snowy white, and there's a whole lot of monsters that aren't really explained very well, and you're thrown into this world, you are basically a mercenary bodyguard. Yep. You'd come in, you get a mission after you've done your tutorial area to basically kill the sacrifice.
It turns out that a lot of events occur and you end up her bodyguard, getting her to all sorts of lands and all sorts of environments for her to sacrifice herself to protect everybody else within the land from monsters.
And the story itself starts off a little bit slow, but the main thing is that's going to be the main draw point of this game, because it's very reminiscent of, I guess, a Chrono Trigger in the gameplay style. There's a lot of very similar things from even just the names of like abilities and stuff.
Everything from momentum, movement-based combat, as well as utilizing techs. So you get everybody using your ATB system rather than a turn-based gauge, and you utilize certain people's turns and combine each other to perform more devastating attacks, which are more movement-based, depending on the placement of your enemies as well. And it is a very cohesive battle system.
That said, there's not much else to it. It feels like it's going down the aisle where it's wanting to have its own kind of thing where it's trying to stand on its own 2 feet, while also drawing back to other old kind of RPG elements.
It does have a bit of an identity crisis, I must admit.
It's like trying to do two things at once, where it should have its own similar thing. The story is nice, it just starts off a little bit slow, and it doesn't really suit well with the combat, because the combat is so fast.
The content is a little bit kind of jarring as well, where if there is a lot of piano pieces and the visuals are fantastic, but if you're a person who doesn't like piano ballads as well as snowy environments, you're going to get sick of the game pretty quickly.
That's the thing. If you aren't going to enjoy a good story though, it is a good piece, because that's basically all it really is.
But is it worth its premium price tag?
That's where
you be the judge.
Hello, Shane.
Hi.
Hello, how you feeling?
Well, not good.
Not good?
No.
So, why? You're gonna tell us why.
Well, you've been naming this segment Shane's World,
Yes.
Party Time Excellent.
I didn't even do it that time. Party time, excellent. Woo, woo.
Yes.
Okay,
There's
so
that.
what else?
There's that. And there was another thing last month which kind of really just broke me down and just I just got mad. So, Warner Bros. Came out,
No, they got caught out.
They got caught out, because as if they're going to ever come out.
Yeah, exactly.
They got caught out for paying YouTubers for paying them to give a positive response for Shadows of Mordor.
Now, there's a term for it. It's called influencers. Like most of the PR agencies, so we are considered traditional press, and this is something we have to get out of the way early. We are what they would consider traditional press, because we are YouTube show, TV show, that kind of stuff. What PewDiePie and all those kind of people are influencers. They call them social media influencers, blah, 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 blah. So because they aren't traditional media, they see it as less of a conflict of interest. They're not technically reviewing it. They're, Gamergate isn't against YouTubers, it's against media. Against the gaming press. So the problem became that they were being given this money straight up to say nice things about Shadows of Mordor, which, to be fair, was a good enough game. It didn't even need it.
Okay, that's problem one. Why the fuck do you need to give money for a game that you should trust will sell because it's good?
It is good. It was a really good game.
It was good. Why? I don't even understand why that wasn't even fucking needed.
Yeah.
It makes no fucking sense to me. If it was Batman Arkham City
to me, Arkham Knight was the worst game.
Yes. And it was a broken game. It didn't even work, and he couldn't actually play the game. Sure, if you're gonna pay people to give positive
but I guess it's more obvious if you do that.
Yes.
If the internet is saying, it's broken, but then you're still, people are saying...
Okay, if the game's positive and you think it's going to be positive, why do you even need to pay people to say positive things about it when there's going to be fucking positive?
Because it is a gamer's game. It doesn't appeal to the casuals. You had to grind... You didn't have to grind a lot, but it required a lot of particular mechanics and stuff like that core gamers had to do. So that's why influencers are important to that demographic. That's my lawyer hat on, and I'm just there.
Issue 2 that I will bring up. This, sure, has consequences. It has larger consequences than people actually also think about. People are going to be trusting of us less because, like, even though we're different media groups, we're different, even industries, if you want to say
we're all viewed as the same thing. And this is the conversation around Gurmagurt was, yes, games media can't be trusted, but for some reason YouTubers get a free pass. Like, how much do you think Oculus Rift paid people to play Oculus Rift? How much do you think that this is the only example of this? We've never taken a cent from anyone to review a game. Simple as that. We wouldn't do it.
No.
But these people don't have... That's true. We'd be on a much better set than my shitty house. But, what's people's expectations now that every time they see something on YouTube, it's going to be paid for?
Or even us. Well, how do you know that we're not getting paid? We're not getting paid because we'd be wear better clothes, wear better shit. I probably wouldn't be on... There'd be someone else because they're better
I'd hire
looking.
someone.
Exactly. But it just, like... People that don't think about these consequences and they just fucking hurt everybody. It just fucking makes me mad. And I just can't handle it.
And that's everything that happened in Shane's world ever.
Oh, God. Fuck off.
Now, it's the movie segment, and there's been a whole bunch of movies that have come out recently. A lot of blockbusters.
And I've seen 0 of them.
You don't really bother to go to the movies. I see a lot of movies.
I'm 100% art house goon. I didn't even go to MIFF because I thought it was too mainstream. Yeah. Mainstream independent film festival.
Well, you got to go to the Melbourne Underground Film Festival.
You need to go like below that, like subterranean.
Don't go there.
Let's go.
Anyway, so so I want to talk to you about some of the blockbusters that have come out recently. Now, there's been a lot of talk about Suicide Squad. You've seen the trailers. Do you have any interest in seeing it?
I imagine Suicide Squad is the name of the audience when they realise they wasted 2 hours on it.
Look, it doesn't make you want to commit suicide, but it's not a good film.
Yeah.
It's pretty bland. The villains are... The actual villains of the piece, not the heroes that are villains, are very forgettable.
Like Will Smith looks bored. I don't know.
I think the issue is superhero films have become so good, or well, generally
They've
pretty
become
good,
better, yeah.
that ones that are average are very forgettable.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
this is very forgettable.
At least it doesn't have Paul Rudd in it.
I like Ant-Man more than Suicide Squad.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Okay, yep. So, gone. Yep, no worries.
So, a movie I'm going to convince you not to see is the newest Jason Bourne film, Jason Bourne.
So Matt Damon didn't want to give his likeness to the Bourne conspiracy game because he believed that video games cause violence. Fuck you, Matt Damon. You're a pleb.
I started off my little Facebook review with fuck Paul Greengrass because I hated... Yeah, also, plot made no sense. What is with thrillers these days thinking like, it's really interesting when we just show so many different locations that they're traveling around the world. That's not interesting from a story point of view.
No.
So, yeah.
No, let's not watch Jason Bourne either.
I won't be able to convince you to see this. Sausage Party.
I milked you like a cow. Bad Neighbors was the worst shit ever. Don't watch it.
So, Seth Rogen in an MA animated film about food that find out that they get in and die.
Do you know what would be a great vehicle for Seth Rogen? If you gave him like a real edgy, serious story like about a southern preacher who actually has the word of God.
Yeah. I understand you don't like the preacher adaptation. But this, I was expecting lots of like stupid, like weird jokes and like crude humor. And
Yeah, because it's Seth Rogen.
Exactly. But there was actually like interesting sort of discussion and jokes about belief and God. There's lots of jokes about the Middle East conflicts. Played out in like bagels and whatever.
Well, they've got like tabbouleh set up in a camp or something like that.
Not quite like that, but there is some interesting things that it was more interesting than I thought it was going to be.
Okay.
Moving on to the next film that just came out, War Dogs.
Okay.
Again, I think you should see it. You won't be interested in it.
It's got Jonah Hill in it, doesn't it?
Jonah
Yeah,
Hill
right,
in it.
okay.
Jonah Hill and Miles Teller from Whiplash.
Your mate, yeah.
Play international arms dealers. Well, sort of like 20, 30-year-old sort of guys that become arms dealers.
So like stoners who end up in the Middle East, like, dude, we're chasing some hash, and then they're like arms dealers.
Not really like that, but
Okay.
yeah, kind of. It's a bit of a dark comedy. More interesting sort of character development than I thought it was going to be. But the film...
You're not really doing a good job of this. Like,
they're not all worth seeing. I'm just rapping. We're doing a rap.
Okay,
Come
rap,
on.
yeah.
But the film that you should see, that I really, really enjoyed as a pick of the bunch, is The Shallows.
that's the Jaws one, isn't it?
It's a shark film.
Okay.
Blake Lively.
I like how shark films have their own genre now.
Yeah.
This one's not. This is the one where it's not the tornado, but Roy Schneider's not in it. Is that how we're defining it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's not the classic Jaws film, but it's not the fucking retarded fucking Sharknado bullshit. This is a really good survival film. The ocean feels like it's a dark, threatening place that we don't belong
So
in.
is it kind of similar to that one that was shot up in like it was based on
kind of
the
like open water, but a bit more threatening than that, where they don't just drift off. And
so it's actually like
this is tense, and will she survive?
fucking shark ate me.
Yeah. So that's everything.
When you think Kingston or HyperX, you don't usually think of peripherals. You think more of maybe your memory, maybe even your hard drives. But recently, they have been getting into more peripheral side stuff. Stuff like mouse pads, stuff like headsets. And this is their first iteration into a keyboard. The HyperX Alloy FPS Mechanical Gaming Keyboard. Now, the one thing you'll probably notice first is actually the small size of it. It's got the normal keys, it's got no 10 keyless, so it's I guess should be a normal size of keyboard when you're thinking, that big. But they've chucked down a lot of like the small edging stuff, a lot of the things that just make it a little bit more chunky, just so to aim it at one specific game, CSGO. Now the thing about CSGO and especially esports players in that game is that they usually tilt their keyboards slightly to like the right, so they actually have more space to move their mouse because they usually run low sensitivity, more movement, which means that they need more space. They've thought of this, they've gone, what can we do, but without reducing the 10 keyless problem? They've chucked down a lot of this empty space that a lot of keyboards actually have. And while it may kind of make it a little bit tight in some places, it doesn't really hurt the normal usage of a keyboard. You can still type really easily and fine. It doesn't really hurt it too much to like make it not worth getting if you're not playing CSGO. It's got all of the other normal stuff like, anti-ghosting, you've got your mechanical blue switches. So it's a little bit of an issue there if you don't like the loudness, but a lot of people actually do like the mechanical to blue switch. The other thing that actually stood out for me was a detachable cable. Now, that's just not a really standard thing, but no one's really thought that it's really been needed. But when you think about it, what's one of the main things that actually damages a keyboard if you are moving around? If you don't include maybe, dropping it or anything like that, it's actually the cable, because you wind the cable around the keyboard and that actually damages some of the keys. That's actually a brilliant idea to just maybe detach the cord. And it's just a standard mini USB, so you don't need to actually always bring that one cord if you're having an issue with, wanting to leave it into the back of your computer. It's a brilliant idea that no one else has really thought of until now. And I think it may actually become a standard. Who knows? But the small things that also you notice about this keyboard is that it's just not, I guess, revolutionary in a way, but it's a very, very, very good standard to a keyboard. If you're looking at it thinking, I've got a lot of HyperX gear, I want to maybe keep supporting them, this is actually a surprisingly good keyboard to actually jump onto. That said, it doesn't have much variation. You're only going to get your red and you're only going to get your mechanical blue switches. That they're going to maybe bring out a new range of keyboards later down the line, but for a first actual iteration into a keyboard, they've done surprisingly well, and I'm looking forward to the new stuff.
Tim, I never really played the Banjo-Kazooie games. My first one was actually Nuts and Bolts, so it was actually a really good place to start, if not exactly loyal to the Banjo-Kazooie thing. So, I'm the perfect target for the ukulele Kickstarter campaign, and I did back that, just to disclose that.
I didn't, but I'm so looking forward to this game because Nuts and Bolts was a great game. But
Yeah, it was.
Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie on the N64, fantastic games, and this looks so much like it. I'm so excited.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like even though I have no affinity with these games, I just immediately get somehow nostalgic for that game. As in the music, the character design, it's all it's all very loyal to those two titles. It's very much a spiritual successor from, the makers of those games.
Even something I was this excited for, I still didn't. It feels like you're buying a Steam Early Access game, and it's like, I'll just wait for the full game to come out. I'll be right with that.
We also live in an age where we're conditioned to collect everything, and it looks like this game will very, very, very much satisfy that itch. Very much so.
So Gerard, it's that time of year where we have another meeting with Mr. Jensen. Perhaps your betrothed. If you had to have a waifu in gaming, yours would be Adam Jensen.
Yeah, it definitely would. And look, I'm an unashamed fanboy of Human Revolution, and finished it a lot of times, sometimes without cover. I didn't even know.
Most of them without cover. Let's be real.
But I love Human Revolution.
So I come from the older school games. I come from the original Deus Ex series.
Yep.
I haven't clocked both of the other ones.
You're a JC man?
JC man,
Yep.
all the way. So it's interesting to see where Mankind Divided really does start to bridge those gaps. So we start with Adam Jensen with his physical augments in the previous game. He comes into this game, and it's set sometime after the original one. There's been a horrible incident previously,
Which is the end of,
where all the people who are augmented go around and commit atrocities against non-augmented, and so the political situation becomes even more tense. Very very good allegory for our current situation in a lot of scenarios.
Well, this is where Deus Ex is the thinking gamer's game, because it takes those sorts of events and those sort of real world things, and they've done it on every level.
Yeah.
It's not just the surface one of racism and apartheid and that.
Literally humanity.
Every decision as well in the game, it challenges you. It gives you even maybe a little bit of spoil, but the underground newspaper network that's trying to expose the truth of everything, the conspiracies, will still compromise itself for a better story.
Yes.
And at every point in the game, from gameplay to story, it's challenging you and saying, is this the right thing to do? And it's really putting it to you as it's a mature game.
And I think that's the thing. People expect obvious material, impacts from their decisions. But in this, a lot of it is just seeing the reactions of the people who is affected directly by your decision. I think that's what worked for the game. It doesn't have to have those obvious overt things. But that said, they still went back and fixed a lot of the problems. The energy problems fixed. They've made the energy like the original Deus Ex series. Lots of the gameplay has been lots of tweaks and things. There are new augments, and the way they've incorporated them into the story is just fantastic as well.
Well, the writing is, as with Human Revolution, the writing is superb. And it could be corny how they introduce the new augments and the reasons for it and that, but still, it's just so good when you're watching and playing it.
Having met the writer we did at PAX last year, she's done a fantastic job. She was leading up the story. She's just done a stellar job of making this world seem. But the one thing I really like is the game is quintessentially a game. It doesn't try to be a movie. It doesn't try to be anything. It applies gamer logic to everything, and it still delivers its story. So that I think, as such, it is perhaps one of the most pure experiences of gaming storytelling that we have. Is that a fair call?
Yeah, it's wonderful. And if you are a Human Revolution player, or if you haven't even played it for a while, it eases you into it beautifully. So you can just pick up almost like.
And it does have a recap video as well. If you do want to skip Human Revolution, I don't recommend you do that. But hands down, Mankind Divided is, I would say, the front runner for Game of the Year, and it is going to be very hard to beat.
Yes, it is. I can see myself playing through this many times because it is just so well done. Every part of it.
This looks like a game that I'll really enjoy, because I did enjoy Human Revolution. I keep getting Human Revolution and Mankind Divided mixed up.
They have a really similar mouth sound, don't they? It's a similar timbre.
Yes, but from all the improvements in this game, it certainly looks like something I'll get into on holidays. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
what about you?
It looks like that they've gotten rid of some of the issues from the first game. Primarily, the boss battles seem to be mostly resolved. But I like just accessing behind the scenes. I like just speech checking my way through everything, so I'll be able to scratch that itch quietly through this game.
You can't make Adam Jensen dance behind cover now though.
No, well,
not in a new game.
Not until you put it into Gary's Mod or Steam Filmmaker.
Yes.
But I'm interested in some of the offshoot material that they've made to promote Mankind Divided, because they've released a lot of things. They've released the Deus Ex Go app on mobiles. They've released a novel. They've released a comic book, an art book, a strategy book, and an official Adam Jensen trench coat.
The jacket does look very cool. I wouldn't wear it, but it looks very cool. It's one stop short of the Xbox One onesie.
Oh Lord, that's a thing that we haven't talked about at all. Would you want to walk around wearing a Timmy onesie?
No. No, please no.
What about a Wii Unitard?
No.
Fair enough.
But that is it for this week. If you are in Melbourne, be sure to check out Madman Anime Festival coming up on the weekend.
It's an environment where you can wear Xbox One onesie and feel perfectly safe.
Yes. Until then, please do visit our website, www.newgameplus.tv.
Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/NewGamePlusTV.
Follow Twitter and Instagram at New Game Plus TV.
And subscribe to us on YouTube and Twitch. We are New Game Plus TV. One word, no spaces.
Thank you, Donald.
Thank you, Tim.
We'll see you guys next week.